Notre invitée du jour, amis auditeurs, dans les couleurs du week-end, est une femme passionnée d'histoire et de culture. Elle est autrice de livres pour enfants. Angela Priso puise, n'est-ce pas, à la fois dans ses racines afro-américaines et dans son lien profond avec l'Afrique de l'Ouest et du Centre en particulier, bien sûr, parce qu'elle épouse un Camerounais, pour créer des récits riches, joyeux et porteurs de sens. Son dernier ouvrage, Tutu and How Little Bit Moves, just moves, c'est move? Is it moves?
Yes.
Ok, fine. Ok, d'accord. Met en lumière l'énergie, l'expression et l'importance de voir les enfants noirs représentés comme des explorateurs et des leaders, comme elle mentionne. Elle est mariée à un Camerounais et amoureuse de l'Afrique et du Cameroun en particulier. Elle vient donc partager avec nous son parcours, sa vision et son univers littéraire aujourd'hui. Angela, bienvenue dans l'émission Les couleurs du week-end. Welcome.
Yeah.
I will do the same thing in English so that you get everything that I said before, okay? So, our guest today on this show is a woman passionate about stories and culture. Children's book author Angela Priso draws both from her African and American roots and her deep connection with West Africa and also Central Africa in particular, because she's married to a Cameroonian, to create rich, joyful, and meaningful stories, okay? Her latest book, Tutu and Her Little Big Moves, highlights the children represented as explorer and leader. That's very important. Married to a Cameroonian and in love with Africa, she joined us today to share her journey and also her vision and her literary world, okay? Angela, welcome one time again.
You also are a fierce.
Oh, right. Oh, that's really fun. So, Angela, before we talk about your book, let's go back to the beginning, okay? Let's talk about your personal journey and what led you to writing.
I have always been a writer. When I was a young girl, I used to have imaginary classrooms, and from being a young girl to becoming a mother, I would write stories for my children.
Okay.
And in my career, I worked in pediatric medical imaging for years, so I draw from patient experiences. So it was all very organic to choose children as my muse for my writing.
Ah, okay, that's very interesting. So, anyway, you are still in the same, let's say, in the same. How can I call it? I want to choose the good word. No, you know, you're pediatric also.
No, I'm currently working with adults, but pediatrics is my passion.
Okay, so
Yes.
it also concerns children. I mean,
Yes.
yeah. So now you switch there from.
Yes, exactly. I switched back to children,
Okay.
but through writing. Exactly.
Okay, that's very interesting. Angela, you have a rich background between pediatric and writing. What gave you the decisive push to become a children's book author?
Again, I feel like I've always been an author, a writer, and children have always been my muse. I've been writing since I was a little girl.
Yeah.
And this is just full circle for me. It's a dream come true. And I'm just happy to be able to do it right now at this time. It just seems very perfect.
Okay, fine. As a child, like you said, you loved inventing, let's say it like that, inventing imaginary, and now imaginary classrooms.
Yes.
Is what you said.
Yes.
Exactly. And then do we find traces of that little Angela again in your stories today?
Absolutely. I felt empowered when I was younger, when I could have my imaginary classrooms. And I feel like these books show children that are empowered and in a joyful situation. And so, yes, it has traces. I feel like that little girl, Angela, is reliving and finally getting to show herself. So, yes.
Okay. You talk about your muse.
Yes.
In French, they call it la muse. So, what inspired you?
I feel that children are, especially in American culture, I can say are some of the most vulnerable. Well, in all cultures, children are one of the most vulnerable.
Okay.
People that we have, as well as the elderly. And I feel like in American culture, sometimes they're not protected or their views aren't taken seriously. And so this is not to show overimportance to children. However, it is to show that they are important, they do have views, and to just put them in a light because we are shaping our future through them.
Okay, fine. So now you are African and American, let's say it like that.
Yes.
Married to Cameroonian, and your writing carry the imprint of West Africa in particular. How do this connection inspire your story?
So I was fortunate that my parents raised me with a clear understanding that even though I was born in America, but that my ancestry is Africa.
Okay.
That's where people that look like me come from. And I also had the fortune of meeting my husband and, us becoming married and sharing our lives together. So I felt like I have a unique point of view that would be difficult to replicate unless you walked in my shoes.
Okay.
Yes, I've been able to fuse both cultures, both aspects from an American perspective and from, my husband. I have 4 children that are from Cameroon. I have 2 that are American. So, yeah, I lucked up here.
Okay, fine. When you talk, you really feel love in all what you're saying, much more love in your husband, because I'm married, my husband, I'm married. Say 2 words, I'm married, my husband. So, okay, fine. So your books highlights Black children as joyful explorers and leaders. Why is it important for you to center your stories on this representation?
Because representation matters, but because all of those things are true. Black children are joyful, they're leaders, they're intelligent, they are all of those things. And at a time like now in society where we have leaders that are pushing false narratives, that are pushing negative views, it is imperative that all people, not just Black parents, but all parents who know better, combat that. And so this has been come at an opportune time for me. I'm very proud to present this at this time in history.
Okay, fine. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your most recent book, Tutu and Little Big Mouse.
Yeah.
Okay? So, did that book celebrate children's energy and expression, like you said? Can you tell us about it a little bit and what message you want to, let's say, you want to convey?
So Tutu and Her Little Big Moves the little girl is on the spectrum. So it celebrates neurodivergence, and it also celebrates the energy that children have.
Okay.
That a lot of times adults try to stifle, and sometimes you just have to let children be, and this isn't to give over importance to children. I mean, we know we have to protect them and not to put them on a pedestal or anything like that. But sometimes you have to give them their space to grow so that they can discover themselves and the world around them. And so that's what Tutu and Her Little Big Moves about.
Okay, that's very interesting. I think it's going to be very nice for parents to, to buy the book, why not, and read the book and so on. That's interesting. So now you combine personal experiences with cultural research in your writing. Because when I talk about personal experiences, let's say, for example, I saw one book you have there. I saw one of your Facebook Live. You were in that monument there in Yaoundé. That was very interesting. So, how do you strike a balance between authenticity and imagination in your books?
First, when I am writing about someone else's culture, it is so important to me to be authentic and to be truthful. So those sources I check and I double check. So if I research the information, I double check with my husband.
Okay.
Double check, with another source.
Okay.
So, for instance, with Ndome, And I have been able to use words from Douala, and that is a language that, I mean, aside from Cameroon, it could disappear. People don't continue to learn it. And I'm so privileged that, again, my husband, my husband,
my husband, and the other one you inside here, okay?
Has shared some of those words from, his culture. And just to be able to say those words, speak those words in that language as an African American, something that I did not have as a cultural background.
Okay.
It just means a lot. So, but yes, I double check and recheck because it is so important. And then I've used that with my imagination, and that's how everything is balanced.
Okay, fine. Now, as an African American connected to Cameroon, how do you live this dual culture? I think now you're going to talk a little bit about your husband. How do you live it, that dual culture, and transform it into literary richness for young readers?
Okay, so again, like you said, my husband, again, has, no, really, I try to just use my imagination, right? I have tried to stay true to my experiences with people, and I have so far left the writing to be more factual locations and things, as opposed to creating some narrative about folklore and myth and things like that. So that's my honest process for Cameroon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Your books go far beyond entertainment, and they also carry a strong message. And that's very interesting. So what I want to know now is, what would you like, for example, children to feel or remember after reading your book?
I would like all children to feel seen and to feel heard, and to see themselves, right, in the characters. I would like Black children in particular to see themselves as leaders, as main characters, as important and as vital, and as being all over the world, as because we are and they are. So I just feel like, again, like this is an important time, a wonderful opportunity to spread that message to children when they are getting narratives from other places. They're going to get that information no matter what. So it's best for parents to try to give them the messaging that we feel is important.
Okay, that's interesting. Also, in your opinion now, I want to know, what role can children's books play in shaping identity and cultural curiosity among younger generation? Yeah.
I mean, it's vital. It can, books can determine how a child feels about themselves. It can, how they feel about the world around them. If you see too many books or too many situations where you're not included, you might think something isn't for you. So if you see all this travel, maybe you see some people skiing in the Alps, you might think it is not for you. But if whatever any child wants to do, the world is theirs. And so that's what I want children to understand. And again, that's why representation matters. And I also would like to mention that Monday is International Literacy Day. And the literacy is, this year's theme is about digital presence. And that's another reason why representation matters, because in like ChatGPT and digital formats like that, when you try to get a brown character to come out, you have to fight. And trust me, I know. I'm still working on it. So it's just very important.
Okay, thank you very much for everything you said. I think that's very interesting also. That is not finished, okay? My collaborator wants to ask like 1 or 2 questions. But before that, before we went there, I want to know, nothing concerning literature and books and so on. How do you feel in Cameroon?
I absolutely love Cameroon. I miss it when I'm not here. And I'm excited whenever it's time to return. So this is my family. This is my home. And I'm happy to be back in Cameroon.
Oh, we are happy to have you here.